Good morning and welcome back to our Pacific Morning Show. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you to all our viewers who are leaving a comment, sharing, and even liking our stuff. It's really bizarre to us. But on today's show, we have Isoa, who's back from hosting the All Blacks and coaching the All Blacks.
Yeah.
How was that?
No. I never want to see these All Blacks again. We're going to lose the Rugby World Cup, guys. But it's not my problem. That's what happens when I fed all the boys just puaka, to be honest.
Yeah. So that training was
That training was more of a training the stomach
right.
than anything else. And good to be back.
Good to be back.
See you.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
for
you
holding
too.
down the fort.
Always.
Thank you, Ryan, for... guys, Ryan's single. So... my mate. Otherwise, at 35, we're both getting married and, well...
Isoa's going to get a lot of people in trouble, but that's your sports for this morning. And welcome back to the Pacific Morning Show. On today's show, we are so excited because we have an amazing guest. I am personally a fangirl. I have been low-key stalking her all over Facebook and Instagram, just following her journey. Amy, the Samoan scientist, welcome to our show this morning. Amy, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
That's okay. Thank you so much for coming on, and we're about to deep dive into a lot of really cool stuff.
Yes.
A lot of really cool stuff.
It makes me hungry.
So Amy's PhD is looking to investigate Samoan traditional food to determine whether it can prevent Samoan women in New Zealand from developing type 2 diabetes. She's currently looking for 200 Samoan women aged from the ages 18 to 90 years old to partake in her study. The first method is a Talanoa method, and the second method is a metabolic checkup. So tell us, how has that been for you, rounding up those women?
Yeah, the PhD journey has been a lot. And so this year we are trying to recruit Samoan women to help us understand more about the Samoan traditional diet. Because I feel like our ancestors already knew that knowledge in the 17 and 1800s. They lived off the land. They relied on the sea for their food. They had to tend to their plantations like the galo, breadfruit, yam, coconut. And so I'm wanting to kind of go back in time and see what our ancestors ate so that we can use that knowledge today to help address diabetes in Samoan women.
Man, I wish I was a Samoan woman so I can partake in your research.
And also, what's such an important research to study, like going back to our own ways of living and eating. That's super exciting. But before we deep dive, we're going to get into our usual morning show first segment.
Oh,
Talk of the day.
Talk of the day. Drama of the day.
What's been going on?
Well, I was on the internet recently while I was coaching the All Blacks.
Right.
And I realized there's quite a bit of hoopla. There was a bit of a kerfuffle. There's a ruckus caused. I don't know why I'm talking like this. A little bit of drama caused by the casting of sorry, I wanna get her name right in case I English is my second language. And her name isn't in English. Well, the second half of her name. Of casting of Sydney Angudong. Yeah? Angudong.
Let me look her up.
As Lilo's older sister, Nani, in the live action adaptation of Lilo and Stitch.
So Lilo's older sister.
Yeah.
Nani.
My future ex-wife, Nani.
Yeah.
My beautiful honey. And most of it is because even though she is Hawaiian, but because she's fair skin, white passing.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, look, but Nani's quite brown. And these guys are casting this, white passing islander in the film, and it just doesn't compute. And it's just like, the typical whitewashing of roles in Hollywood.
Oh, mate, Hollywood's been whitewashed since the Stone Ages, mate. But I'm not saying that it's not valid for us to have a conversation. But Nani, it says here, Sydney Agudong is an actress, singer, and professional songwriter born and raised on the island of Kauai, Hawaii. So she was born and raised there. What's the problem?
She's not.
She's not darker skinned?
Yeah, people are saying, yeah, she's not darker skinned. And
Right.
I'm like, all right. I'm willing to give the movie a chance, though. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I was just thinking it's also it depends if she can act, you know. So
Yeah.
she may be able to do the job better than others because it's not just on how they look. So she may be really good fit for the role, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, you are right. A lot of roles have been whitewashed in Hollywood. So I think that's why people lashed out, because they're like squinting and looking at the situation like, here we go again. Like, this may be another whitewashing of the roles.
This might be another, what is it? Gods of Egypt.
Oh,
or Noah.
I've seen that. They're terrible films. And I love theology and the Bible and those just terrible films, guys.
Guys.
Yeah.
Noah is Russell Crowe. I have received a message from the creator. Yeah, so like I've decided to do a little bit of fan casting myself.
Cool.
I mean, and there's also the Moana live action remake where we're gonna see the water bending of Moana come to life.
That's gonna be interesting.
So can I just share
Let's do it.
My ideas for who I would cast?
So guys, we're going to be discussing Isoa's list of people he wants casted on Lilo and Stitch, and also the Moana live action. And we'll go around too, and we'll see who is fitting for these roles.
I don't have a life.
Get it?
Yeah. So Lilo, I actually don't have anyone because I reckon there's so many little Hawaiian girls who are veterans at White Sunday who would do that role justice, and I don't know. Put out an open cast, guys. Disney, and we'll do it. I'll be there. I'll audition too. I'd be really good as well. For Nani, I'm gonna I would cast Veronica Pomee.
Can't get it. Have you heard of Veronica Pomee?
No.
She is a I'll let her husband introduce her. Sorry.
Veronica's like,
we're gonna bring up some photos, so you know what
she's the first ever Tongan Polynesian Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and she's just cool, and I reckon she'd be great as Nani.
She just got the body of it too, man.
Yeah,
Nani was thick.
That's all I'm gonna say. For Stitch, I would cast Andy Serkis. He was Gollum, and was it Caesar? He was Caesar in Planet of the Apes. Yeah,
he was Caesar, and I love Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
great Gollum as well.
Yeah, so that's so Andy Serkis is just made to be hiding in plain sight, unfortunately, but he's so good. Dr. Jumba, I'm gonna cast myself. Obvious reasons. Even though I can't do a cool accent.
Yeah.
Pleakley, I'm gonna cast Alan Tudyk.
Who's Pleakley?
Pleakley's the alien with two tongues.
Oh, yeah.
And like, was it like 4 legs or something? Yeah, right. I love Pleakley. And the one eye, yeah, he's messed up. And Gantu, I'm gonna have the voice actor for Gantu, Kevin Michael Richardson. If you look at him and you hear his voice, it's just like, why am I gonna cast someone else? Agent Bubbles, I'll have Chris Judge.
Oh, yo.
From Stargate. And just have him, instead of yelling boy, just yell Stitch the whole time, because he's Kratos. And for David, Nani, my beautiful Hani's on-screen boy mate, either Taylor Willie from Hawaii 5-0 or Kalani Robb from what is it? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, Taylor Willie's cool.
Oh yeah, he's in Forgetting Sarah Marshall too. Yeah, he's cool.
I just saw his photo now.
Yeah.
He's a sumo wrestler, right?
Okay.
I think that would be such a cute couple. Him and Veronica Pomee.
Nah, it should be you. Why would you say this?
No, because you're the one that casted them. Like, this is your thing.
I am gonna cry.
Backfired.
Nah, Taylor Willie would actually look, no, like on a serious level though, I would love to see this on a screen.
I should direct the film right now. If you guys are gonna get like Taika or someone to direct it, now you should get me.
Yep.
With gout.
Shout out to our Gout brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. We are thinking of you in this time of transitioning into winter.
And I will just quickly run through my Moana cast as well.
Yes,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
do
We
it.
can move on.
Can I add my one if I have one?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
For Moana, I'm still gonna stick with Auli'i.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yo.
she's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moana, I feel like Brianna Fruin would make a
Brianna
mean one.
Fruin.
Yeah,
Oh,
she would
yes.
make a mean
That's a
Moana.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you cast as Moana, Amy?
I quite like the Ali'i.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Mm.
think she suited really well.
Yeah.
She's great. For Maui, I'm either gonna cast John Tui or Fasitua Mosa.
Fasitua Mosa would be really good.
I know, right?
Yeah.
He's so great. He's the one that does the voices for the Auckland trains.
On the trains.
Yeah, for the trains.
Wow.
Like, you have arrived at Kingsland Station.
Please have your hop cards
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, that's fussy. That's fussy, yeah.
That's so cool.
That's a flex. I like
Yeah.
And he doesn't speak in Legend of Baron Toa, which is offensive.
Yeah. He was also on Legend of Barata. Yeah.
But who would you cast
As Maui?
Maui?
David Tua. With a wig.
Yo, David.
David Tua with a wig.
that.
Champ.
So-
Can
That's
you,
who I would.
Can you imagine David Tua? What can I say?
Bro,
so good.
he will pull it off, man. He will pull it off.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Who would you, do you have anyone you'd cast on as
I
Maui?
don't have one, but I'd love to see David
Yeah.
Tua. That would just make it.
Yeah, David Tua would be great. For the chief, I'm sticking with Tim, with Uncle Tim, Timura
yeah.
Morrison,
Oh, he'd make a good
Agreed.
one.
Daddy Boba Fett.
Wait, wasn't he a voice actor on Moana though?
Yeah, he
Yes.
was the voice
Oh,
actor.
okay, jokes.
Yeah.
Man, I need to do my homework. Sorry.
Who would
Oh,
smoke
for
watermelon now?
I don't have one. Sorry,
Huh?
I don't have one.
You didn't have one for the chief?
No, I don't.
You should cast Mata Nanai.
Ooh,
Shout out to the boss.
I should walk in and be like, "There's an opportunity waiting for you." I haven't actually thought of it. Yeah. Do you know anyone you'd cast as the chief?
Timura Morrison. I honestly
Timura
mine.
Morrison.
Who would you
Oh, I
cast?
haven't thought about it. No idea.
That's hard.
For Sina, Moana's mom, I will cast Mia Blake. She's in The Tattooist. She's the one who gets the haunted tattoo. Is that the one? Yeah.
Let me have a look.
She isn't Balangi though in the movie.
She's Tongan. How dare you?
I did not
That's
know that.
offensive.
You're right. She does look Balangi in the movie,
Oh.
but she's Tongan. So,
she's Tongan.
Ah.
Oh, so here.
Leah
so-
Blake as this girl.
Mia Blake.
Oh, Mia Blake. Sorry. I'll send you these scripts.
Yeah,
You pull up.
I see you pull up a Balangi lady. I'm like, what?
Yep.
I think that's what I came up with when I searched her name.
Mia. M-I-A. E-O.
M.
This is her.
A. Oh yes, no, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Mm.
She does look Balangi.
Gosh, what? Man, am I going to get cancelled on Twitter? I feel like I'm going to get cancelled on Twitter for this fan casting right here. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Russ.
All these Twitter people can cancel themselves. Oh.
I might get cancelled for some of my activities on Twitter. But whatever I say on Twitter is not a reflection of my employees or whoever, of my employers, and all these viewpoints are my own.
That disclaimer, eh?
Disclaimer. Yeah, who would you cast as the mum?
I actually don't know. I have no idea.
I might just casting myself. Who would you
I was
cast?
thinking Tula.
Tula Blakely?
Oh,
Like the- yeah.
she'd be a cool one.
Yeah, she's a lot of acting as well. So
Yes.
she'd be all good to go.
Oh man,
She'd actually be a good
That'd be
one.
cool. She'd be cool.
Yeah.
I love Tula.
Yo.
We should Yeah, she's great. And for the grandma, I was gonna cast Ana Tuisila.
Ana Tuisila. What film is she on?
She plays The Rock's grandmother in Young Rock.
Oh, yeah, she'd be good.
Yeah? See, I got the nod of approval here from Ryan.
Ah.
She plays Leah Maivia.
She's great.
She looks like a Tongan auntie. Is she Tongan?
No, I think she's
jokes.
Samoan. Tuisila's
Oh,
Samoan.
yeah, Tuisila's a Samoan. That's crazy.
Yeah.
She'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing some research, guys. Yeah, who would you cast as the Nana?
I actually have no one as well.
I thought you said you were gonna cast the grandma from the.
Oh, the grandma, coconut grandma.
Yeah.
Yes. She, because, you know, I've seen her face on screen so many times. I'm used to her being the grandma. Do you know the old lady on?
No.
It's Coconut, and is she the one that has like the living room just filled with all of these like collectibles?
Yeah, she was on Te Nesa.
Yeah, I love that. I love her. We should protect her at all costs. She's like the Samoan Betty White.
Yo.
We should never.
And she's funny.
And she's wholesome, and
She understands.
I miss my grandma now. Sorry to bum everyone out.
Yeah. Te Nesa, grandma.
Who would you cast?
I was
Amy?
thinking of that. She's Maori though. That lady that's like she was in Hunt for the Wilder People. You know where she's like, is she the mum that takes in Ricky Baker?
Yeah. Oh,
Her, I don't know.
that's
her name.
Rachel House.
Rachel House.
Oh, she voices the grandma.
Oh,
in
does she?
Moana.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I just sort of.
Oh, man.
Ricky
Anyway.
Baker.
Yeah.
Is she
I love
the voiceover for the grandma?
Yeah.
Wow. That
That's-
was a really good guess,
Yeah.
by the way.
She fits it.
Oh, she's not the
she's
one. Oh no,
not.
she's the cop. Yeah, she's the cop. Sorry.
So
She's the
who's-
cop. That's a white lady, isn't it?
My bad.
She's now you're gonna get cancelled.
I'm gonna get cancelled.
Ricky Baker.
Oh, so catchy.
Yo. Thank you for your dream cast list for Lilo and Stitch and Moana live action.
That no one asked for. Sorry for taking up half the podcast.
Yo. Oh, we've got a lot of gifts for the Pasifika coming up. Well, I wouldn't call them gifts, but some pretty cool stuff where our cultures are involved, hopefully.
Hopefully it means we can get paid.
Exactly. But in saying that, we have to go into our quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
So we thought we'd ask Amy what's something that keeps her going in life. And Amy, what is the quote that keeps you going?
The quote that I'm feeling at the moment is one day at a time. And I think that's because coming out of the cyclone and the floods, like that was really overwhelming, and having to do studies and work as well. So I'm just like, I just need to really focus on what's happening now. And so I've just been thinking about that quote a lot. And that's helped me get through my days.
Yeah, what do
Yeah,
you reckon, Hana?
it's a good one. It's like, it's basically how I'm surviving, really. I don't think too far ahead and I don't think too far behind. I just think about today. And it's worked. It's like the only method that has worked to get me out of bed and like to do stuff is just to think about today. Don't think too far ahead. Don't think too far behind. Keep those things in mind, but don't always, I guess, consume yourself in those thoughts. But yeah.
Yeah, nah. What is it? That's kind of what got me through my recovery, really. And also watching the Creed movies too. There's this thing where they, in the first Creed movie, where they're in the world famous Rocky training montage, all you hear is one punch at a time, one step at a time, one round at a time. And I was just like, okay, I'm crippled and sick right now, but all right. One pill at a time, one drink at a time.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
But it works.
Yeah, it works.
And I'm here. I'm still not 100%, but we're here. And nah, yeah, I vibe with that 100%, Amy. But yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us.
We'll be right back, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning, and welcome back to your Pacific Morning Show. We are here with Amy, the Samoan scientist, to talk about all the awesome things that she's doing in Pasifika spaces at the moment. How are you this morning, Amy?
Yeah, feeling awake.
Feeling alive. Let's dive straight into it. I just wanted to know a bit about, your academic journey. How has that been? Because like I said in the beginning, been low-key following your journey into this, and I understand that I think it was early lockdown, or like during when lockdown was on and off, you got rejected for your PhD. And how was that for you?
That felt horrible because I really knew that I wanted to do my PhD. And so the whole process was really difficult because I was judged based on my mark. So in order to get into a PhD program at the University of Auckland, you have to have a certain mark. So my mark for my previous work, which was my master's, was a B-. And so the university said, that's not good enough. You need to have, I think it was at least a B+. But I also had work experience. I'd worked in Samoa. I had publications where we publish our research, also community engagement through Samoan scientists. But that was not enough for the university to say that I could continue with my PhD. They were only looking at my B- mark. And so that just felt horrible because you're judged based on a mark.
Yeah. But they don't kind of like see your whole body of work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like we're not looked at as a person. It's just like we just look at your numbers, your percentages, and your mark. And that's it.
Without evaluating our connections to the communities that we're serving and stuff like that. And you've done a lot of that work for free, like that stuff that you're doing out of your heart. So how has that been?
Having to kind of go through that process for the PhD. Yeah. Well, the university said to me, they said, what you can do is that you can do another year of, another year of study. Half a year of study. And you need to take these papers and you need to get these certain marks in these papers, which was B+. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. Did that. And so there's a little drama in that, but anyway. We won't go there, but they're like, cool, those papers are great. You can now start your PhD. But the whole process before that took, I think it was like a year and a half because of COVID. Yeah.
Right.
Because the university couldn't communicate with me for reasons I don't know, just a communication breakdown. But we finally got there in the end.
So you started?
Yes, I started my PhD last year. So PhD is 3 years worth of research. So, and this is my second year this year.
Right.
One more year.
It's not long to go. It's only one more year.
That's crazy. Congratulations. What a long journey.
Thanks. Yeah, very long journey.
You know what? Sorry, before you ask your next question, what kind of bugs me out about PhDs is that at the end of it, after you've submitted your research, your thesis, all of that, you got to do like this, is it like 3-hour long oral test?
Yep.
Where you sit down with like your supervisor and like a bunch of like other people who have like read your stuff, and they quiz you on it.
Yep.
And I'm like,
they grill you on it.
Yeah.
So they will have someone who's quite nice, then someone who will just rip your work to shreds. And I think that's kind of the process as a researcher, because you're always critiquing other people's work, you're developing your own work. And so, that's the ultimate test. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. So, it's be interesting.
Would that be like more intense than the usual, like passing it over to them?
what do you mean?
Like, what is the common, how do I frame this? The process that he just talked about, when you sit down with your supervisors, have you talked to other PhD candidates and how they've managed it?
I've heard like bits of experiences, and they said, we just went in knowing that we know our stuff really well. We've spent 3 years on it. So they kind of went in with that frame of mind. And when like examiners asked them questions that were kind of able to justify why they did certain things. So it didn't sound as scary as it could be.
Yeah, I mean, but like if you've lived and breathed it for 3+ years, and you've like been thinking about it while you were doing masters, then you know you should be able to stand up to the masters and the gatekeepers.
This is how we're gonna do
the
it.
Grand Council. I'm here to join you guys. I want to be a philosophical doctor. What is it? Doctor of philosophy.
Yeah.
Doctor of Philosophy. Sorry, just got another question for you. Throughout your research, what have been the 3 most life-giving experiences you've had throughout the journey for you personally?
Could that be when I did my bachelor's as well?
From the start of your academic journey,
Ooh,
yeah.
3 life-changing. Okay, so the first one I immediately think of is a lecturer that we had, Dr. Rebecca Fuller. She's a Māori researcher in ethnobotany. So she did a lot of work in fungi in relation to Māori culture. And so for me, that was such a cool experience because I didn't know there was research out there like that you could relate fungi to culture, to Māori culture. And there's medicinal plants out there that are specific to our Pasifika cultures.
Yep.
So for me, that was life-changing because she allowed me to see a different type of research and a different way that it could help our community. And so even now, she's kind of like a mentor. And so I've shadowed her work. And so I'm really thankful for Dr. Rebecca Fuller. The second life-changing would be involving myself in a group called Tuakana. So,
nice. Yeah.
Have you guys?
You're a tuakana?
Yeah, with Tuakana.
A science tuakana?
Yes, we're with school biological sciences.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I loved going to a space where people looked like me and having conversations that we all understood and got. And so I'm really thankful to that group, Tuakana, that they were able to support me through the academic journey. Because university is not easy. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And it can be very lonely. So I was really thankful for that. And then my last life-changing moment was, I guess, doing my master's research. So I did my master's looking at taro. I looked at a particular disease called taro leaf blight. And so for me, I thought, wow, I can help Pasifika communities by understanding more about this disease so we can preserve our galo for longer, so it's not going to be affected by this disease. And so I was really thankful to have that opportunity, to have those supervisors, because I could see my pathway as a researcher of how we can help community and look at issues that I'm interested in.
Yeah, and it would be really helpful, that master's that you did for the Samoan economy. It's like one of our main exports.
Because that master's research pretty much jump-started my opportunity to work in Samoa on that exact project. So I thought this is like a realistic, practical way I can help Samoan farmers, Samoan families.
Man, if I was the owner of what's the company that makes Samoa's favorite chip? The taro chips? What's the name of that company? Anyway, whatever that company is, I would have sponsored your study because I'm like,
true, eh?
Even though studies sponsored by corporations sometimes are a bit sus.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have been like, guys, she's trying to save our taro. Without taro, we can't make chips.
Yeah. Game over,
That's so
everyone.
true.
Can't make chips. Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. Wait, but you know that what is it? Sorry.
You got.
You know the study that you did into the blight?
Taro leaf blight.
The taro leaf blight? Does that blight get here to New Zealand or is it exclusively in the islands?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's not here in New Zealand, the taro leaf blight. And so I actually had to work with this, it's fungi-like, it's called an umaiseed. I had to work with the taro leaf blight in the labs.
Yeah.
And so because it's not here, I had to work in a restricted lab.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in Samoa, I think. Have you seen it in Tonga?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's only not all the Pacific Islands have it, so that's good.
Man, because that's crazy. Yeah, like, yeah, because I'd assume that you'd work hard. Like, if it's not here in New Zealand, you'd be like quarantining and stuff, or like deep cleaning.
Yeah.
So that, because the taro leaf, during summer here,
Yeah.
the taro leaf game is like, my dad has a taro patch,
Oh my gosh.
and I
cool.
got like family coming over like every second week or something, just being like, oh, it's Saturday, so hi uncle,
Thank you.
thank you for your donation.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh man, no, that's crazy.
And it's too cold here as well for the taro leaf blight. Like,
yeah.
we have galo at home, but we can never go the big, the corms, the root itself. So we just have the taro leaves. Do you have the?
My dad has it.
Really?
My dad has it. Yeah, he for the past 4 or 5 years. So what he does is that towards the end of autumn, so it would be round about now, my dad, like, he digs them extra deep.
True.
Right? Kind of, we call it the foha, the sun, the root. He digs it extra deep and he just lets it sit there for like a year.
Wow.
And then when it's harvesting time, he pulls it out.
Really?
And it's, yeah. And I told you this when we were planning the podcast. Like, fresh taro straight out of the ground is like, oh, the taro you get in the shop is cool, right? But it's been there for like, it could have been, yeah.
It's not it.
Yeah. But
Really?
But it could have been there for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
Or something easily, right? Man, straight out of the ground is like, you could just have the taro on its own. No need for salt, no need for coconut cream. You don't even need meat. You just eat it on its
Yeah,
own.
you were just saying it's like something like an apple.
It's sweet. It's so good.
So does your dad put like compost on top, or just leaves the soil for a year?
He just leaves it. Like, but what he'll do is like, he'll go when he notices it like kind of like going down a little bit, the soil kind of like eroding a little bit. He'll just go with his like his hoe, and he'll like just kind of like pile it. I knew you were gonna laugh.
Get that.
I'm fired. Guys, I'm out. Sorry.
Context, guys. Context. Yeah, and he'll just kind of like, like kind of grab more soil and pile it up. And then so you'd walk into our house. Usually when taro plants die out, it's usually around winter time, right?
Too cold.
Yeah, you'll come to our house and there's like massive leaves.
Oh my god.
That's so. Is that like?
They're not allowed in my house.
Do a lot of Tongans do that?
I don't
Or
know.
is it just your dad?
I want to say my dad because my dad's
He's the man. The gobble man.
So if you wanna, if you guys want to study taro here in New Zealand, then
$5,000 a lesson.
$5,000, and you have to bring triple cheeseburgers for my dog. Just a meat and cheese, please. Theodore Bear Mullins. Theodore Bear Ofaikai Kentucky Mullins Kawakimoto, thank you.
Hi, Bear.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool.
I wanted to go back to what you were saying, that the taro you get from the shops is a bit of a red flag.
Oh, it's just not fresh.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It tastes different.
Yeah.
And I think some of them they treat with some sort of treatment so that they don't have any, sometimes they have nematodes in them. So just to prevent any bugs being brought into the country.
Right.
So, it's the time that they've left Fiji or Samoa, they're then sprayed, then they're shipped, and then they get to the veggie store and then they sit there for longer. So they're just not fresh.
They're not fresh.
Is that why frozen taro is better?
Yeah, I've been buying frozen taro and I
Yeah.
quite like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still nothing better than straight out the ground.
Yes. Nah.
Now say it.
I don't want to get rejected on
Say
camera.
it. Say it.
I want to taste your dad's taro.
Nah, for real. If my dad's next harvest, I'll be like, Dad, I'm gonna take some to work, eh?
Yeah.
Why does it sound like the Tower of Life
And
was
you can't say no, eh? Just some money for you, Dad. Go and fight cover with it.
I'm here to pay top dollar for that taro because I know that it's been in the ground for a long time. So
That's Papa Tuanuku's taro. So here in Aotearoa.
it's it's the quality. It's the quality that matters. But in saying that, for your PhD study that you're doing now, what is your ultimate goal?
So I'm wanting to have more understanding around what our Samoan traditional foods are, the cultural significance behind them, and then how that relates to our genes in Samoan women. So that with that knowledge, we can kind of claim back our understanding of our foods. Because I feel like we already had the answers from our ancestors, 1700s, 1800s, but somehow, we just lost it over time. So I'm just wanting to reclaim our knowledge so that we can use that to address diabetes here in New Zealand.
That'll be awesome, which is a problem. And your research will definitely contribute to that, to solving that, of course. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and we're back with your Pacific morning show. It's Monday, and my brain is broken, but we can fix that. We're here with the Samoan scientist. Yeah, we're here with Amy, current PhD student at the Universite o Le Aukilani. Is that how you say it in Samoan?
Yep.
See, man, I've been hanging out with too many Samoans. And currently your research, you're looking at how we could the health benefits of moving towards a much more natural, less processed food diet.
Yeah, looking at the Samoan traditional diet.
Man, why is it always about Samoans, man? I swear.
You guys just had your own movie. What are you on about?
What are you on about? You have the Samoan movies too. Gosh. Anyway, before we get into that whole argument. Speaking of like a much more natural diet that consists of much less processed food. As you guys heard earlier, my dad is a bit of a green fingers. And just kind of like catching up in between scenes, and I'm kind of surprised that all these things that are kind of normal to me, privilege. Oh my god!
He's acknowledged his privilege.
I'm acknowledging my privilege.
Everyone raise your right hand.
And I'm kind of just shocked there, like, oh, bananas, yeah, we can have bananas. I got like banana trees at home.
So
This is my dad's garden, guys. And before I'm in. And if my dad's not even gonna watch this, but my dad's probably like, wow, he's so proud of my garden, but he doesn't help in my garden. He's got like banana trees.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a full-on plantation, especially during summer. Right. So we have the luxury of we have the luxury of like sometimes having like real like fresh out the ground papatuanuku foods. Like taro, kumala, corn. What's something else that we have at our house? Ryan? Horse? No, we don't have horse. Pam, you was too small for horses.
But if you would, you'd have your own.
But if I would, I could.
Yeah.
And, we're kind of very fortunate that we can have, like, that sort of stuff. Like, what would be, like, kind of the real staple foods that you would say make up the traditional Samoan diet?
So I've been looking at literature, so published work that has talked about Samoan traditional foods. So a lot of the work that I've looked at was during the missionary time, so that's the 1800s. Unfortunately, that's written by missionaries, so non-Samoan people, so I'm not really sure if it's accurate. But what I found is that the most common foods that were mentioned were galo, breadfruit, yam, coconut, banana, and fish. So that was the main part of the diet. Have a lot of carbs and then your protein with the fish. So it's like I think it's a pescatarian diet.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's super interesting because we had this written work by the missionaries, but for me, I feel like our Samoan voices are not heard in that work. So I'm wanting to talk to Samoan women about their experiences with Samoan traditional foods, their memories with Samoan traditional foods, to kind of fill in the gaps that is not written about.
So like red meat and stuff like that, all introduced by missionaries.
I think so, because what I read is that meat like pua'a pig and chicken were only eaten at ceremonies, and for instance, the pua'a was divided into certain sections and was given to certain chiefs according to their ranking.
Yeah.
But that was not eaten all the time. Yeah.
It's like ceremonial foods.
Yes.
So there was like a hierarchy of foods.
Yeah.
And the meats. Sorry, I'm not going to ask that question.
You should ask. Don't be afraid.
I'm afraid.
There's no such thing as a stupid question, Hana.
Okay, then don't laugh at me when I say this.
I didn't even know I said that.
You know that hierarchy of meats? Is there any research detailing on how that hierarchy was formed? No.
And so that's the knowledge that I want to know. Because I feel like that's so important for us. Like when I think of myself, New Zealand born Samoan, living away from the motherland, like I don't know any of that knowledge. And I want to know because that's my culture and that's how I feel closer to my heritage.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wanting to speak to particularly our Samoan women who are the elders.
Yeah.
Because I think they have that knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's that's real important because I think I remember one time we were doing like cooking for a church feed, and I remember just hearing my mom talking about, no, we need talo or kumala or yams, or ufi, and I go to my mom, we've got like a whole sack of manioke in the fridge. Like, why did we cook that? And she just sat there and just looked at me. Like, she was just like, are you done? Like, are you dumb? And it didn't dawn on me until later. I was like, wait, is that peasant food? Like...
Manioke?
Yeah. Wow. Apparently in Tongan it is.
Interesting.
Like, that's like the hierarchy of what are they called? Like things from out the ground, plant foods, vegetables, like root vegetables. Right at the bottom is manioke. You wouldn't, you'd see that at like funerals and stuff. Obviously, it's a funeral. You can't tell people when to die. So it's like whatever's the family got.
That's right.
But at like big feasts and banquets, if you bring manioke, you're like.
Right, you're like kind of looked down, side eye, bombastic side eye.
You're putting towards like an offering of like the best foods, and you want manioke.
Right.
Yuck.
Because that's the thing for us, it's not just a nutritional value for our Pacific foods; it has a significance, and I feel like a lot of the clinicians and the doctors, nutritionists don't have that information to help with their work. Because I feel like we already know that, but unfortunately some systems need the research behind it, the Western stuff behind it. So that's where I'm coming in to provide that knowledge so that they can trickle down to hospitals, nutritionists to help our people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. And it must be so hard trying to like find all this info, and our culture is like based on like sharing history through oratory. So that's a lot of hard work, and well done. Well done on all of that. That's really awesome.
And I also understand a lot of that traditional knowledge is kept within families.
Yeah.
So I also want to be respectful. Like, it's only open to people who feel comfortable sharing this knowledge, because it will be passed down for next generation, even my generation. Like, I know some people who don't know a lot about our foods. So yes, it's really anyone who's Samoan woman and feels comfortable to talk about their experiences with Samoan foods who I'm really wanting to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you know you know how now we have what looks like when we have let me start this again. When we talk about Samoan food, it's very different to what you're going into your research, like the traditional. It's like a pescatarian diet. Nowadays, it's like sapasuis, our food, our kalemoa. It's known. Well, what do you think about that? Like, there's people fighting, saying that's not Samoan food, that's Samoan food. What's your general thought about that discourse?
Yeah, I feel like the foods that we have today, like sapasui, kikapoa'a, kikasenga, for us, those are Samoan foods. And when I think of, when we have great-grandchildren, that will be considered Samoan traditional foods. So it really depends on who you ask. But for my research, I'm wanting to go far back in time as I can and ask the living eldest people what are Samoan traditional foods to them.
Yeah, because I remember thinking about this. I was like, oh no, sorry, I'm gonna take a step back, because I remember back in high school, someone was like, oh yeah, we had a mean island food. And I was like, oh yeah, what did you guys have? And they were like, oh yeah, we had chop suey. And I was like, that's Chinese food.
Yeah.
But the older I got, the more I'd realized, no, wait a minute. There were Chinese indentured servants that lived in Samoa. They would obviously have a huge influence on the cuisine in Samoa. Much like in Fiji, there's like the influence that Indians had on Fijian cuisine. Tongans, we just stole everything from everywhere. We were borrowing the maulu'ulu still from you guys, and the taolunga, and like the kaila were like, hey, that's all good, we'll take that. And it's just like, and I just remember sitting there thinking, I was like, I don't think we had enough time for Pacific cuisine, not only like within our islands, to kind of differentiate from one another, because it's all still really similar. Like Tongan food, Samoan food, it's all real similar, just minor differences. We didn't have enough time to develop like separately from one another, but also kind of we didn't have enough time for us to kind of fully differentiate from outside influences. Kind of like how, how pasta ended up in Italy is not actually Italian, it's Chinese.
Yeah.
They were
noodles.
they were like, oh, noodles, let's make it Italian, spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
And I was just like, well,
even the Caribbeans do it.
Caribbeans do it. I mean, this kind of all dawned on me when I was doing when I was doing the thing for BuzzFeed on Tongan food.
Right.
And I was like, man, you can't expect us to turn around and be like, oh, I want to put in some garlic, I'm going to put in some of this, I'm going to put in some of that. Usually for us, it was just like, oh, chili?
Yeah.
Because we haven't had time to fully develop the cuisine. And, just hearing that you're willing to go back to the roots of it, I'm just like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You should be sponsored by various corporations.
A lot of them.
Even though it'll be like, everyone will be like, so you paid for the study?
But I was thinking, when you're talking like different influences, like in Samoa, you have the German influence.
Yep.
So I'm assuming like all the bakery, like kikapoa, that type of stuff. And definitely Chinese influence. Actually, what is kikapoa? Is it Chinese or?
I think it's Chinese influence,
Well, then I know the Germans, they established a lot of the big cocoa plantations in the copra.
Yeah.
So there's always different lifestyles, different foods that have been influenced in Samoa,
Yeah.
and that has influenced our diet and the way of living as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, what is it? It's gotten to the point now where stuff like spam, like in Hawaii, or like corned beef, to us is just like, oh, that's island food now.
Yeah.
A lot of white people will just look and be like, corned beef? Who are we, Polynesians?
I know. Hard out.
You know, it's just, yeah, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
you know, if we just think about taro and kumara, even those aren't natively Pacific, isn't it? Like taro's from Asia.
Yeah. Yeah, you raise a really good point, because I found in the research as well that a lot of the foods that we eat in the Pacific Islands were introduced.
Yes.
So they were called canoe plants. So the original Polynesians that went out in search of lands, they brought those foods with us. So the galo, the breadfruit, the fa'i, the banana, the yams, because they can only be replanted by human intervention. So someone needs to physically get a root of the galo, we call it tiapula in Samoa, dig a hole and put the tiapula in the ground and wait for it to grow. It's not like these foods can be dispersed by birds.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of the foods in the Pacific Islands were introduced by our original ancestors. And for me, that's like, that gives our food more meaning.
Yes.
They were coming to an island for a purpose. They wanted to create a village, a family. So they took foods with them that reminded them of home. And they went to an unknown land in hope that they would grow. And so I just love that connection for us as Pacific peoples.
That's beautiful.
And boy, did they grow.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of these yams, man? It's bigger than my leg, man. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Sergio, thank you so much, Amy, for coming on the Pacific Morning Show. That is your morning show. Thank you, Amy, for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us on this show. I just wanted to give you the opportunity, final words to our audience and viewers. If you could just to that camera there, that would be awesome.
Well,
Cool.
yeah.
So if you're a Samoan woman aged 18 to 90 years old, I would love to have you participate in my research to explore the Samoan traditional diet to see if we can help reduce type 2 diabetes in Samoan women here in New Zealand.